Okay guys, the camera's not following me, so hopefully I stay in frame the entire time. Actually, let's get a thumbnail first. Is this a good thumbnail? Let's do another pose. Okay, this is gonna be another VOD type video, unedited, mostly because I run out of time to do that. So, let's say this is an easy to follow Bible study. I'm a Christian, so it's gonna be the Holy Bible that we're gonna be studying, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Let's talk about a devotional, because this is the way that I'm gonna do the Bible study. So devotional, it describes any activity relating to religious worship, which can be, I don't know, listening to kind of like maybe a prayer podcast, something as simple as that, writing down a prayer in your journal, reading the Bible, doing, like attending a church service or something, or like something, typically it's something daily. So it could be like you start off your morning with prayer, you start off with your morning with reading the Bible, stuff like that. An example that I have here is she read a daily devotional and prayed, which is kind of what I'm gonna be talking about here. All right, let's get some steps down. Okay, so as you can see, been a little bit of a, I don't know if you can see actually, been a little bit of a grinder in Proverbs recently, but we're gonna be going to, let's do Proverbs 9, okay? So first you have to describe, or you have to choose what you're gonna read. Sorry, let me get my pen out, I wasn't ready. So first let's describe what we're gonna read. I only do it about somewhere between 5 to 10 verses at a time. So we'll start off with the first 5, and that's gonna be the first step, what to read. The second step is annotate and understand. So by annotating, you can kind of see here, I've gone through and just kind of looked at some parts that I really liked about the Bible and parts I didn't understand, and what am I trying to be taught here. So let's say, what is this? Proverbs 6, verses 27 to 28. Can a man embrace fire and his clothes not be burned? Can a man walk on burning coals without scorching his feet? It's basically just talking about sin destroying you, and there is punishment to your sin. Okay, hopefully that makes sense about annotating. I am going to go through an example with you on it, just because I want to show you really how easy this is, and that you can make time for it. It typically takes me maybe 10 to 20 minutes each time, so it's not bad. Let's hopefully this doesn't fall. Okay, perfect. Okay, ready? Proverbs 9. Wisdom versus foolishness. Wisdom has built her house. She has carved out her 7 pillars. She has prepared her meat. She has mixed her wine. She has also set her table. She has sent out her female servants. She calls out from the highest points of the city. Whoever is inexperienced, enter here. To the one who lacks sense, she says, come, eat my bread and drink the wine I have mixed. Leave inexperience behind and you will live. Pursue the way of understanding. Okay. So, it's kind of just saying here that wisdom, which is going to be, they're describing wisdom as she and her throughout these first 6 verses. So, you just want to understand that it says wisdom versus foolishness, that's the title. So, at least at this point, that with the understanding that I'm getting and how I'm going to annotate and try to understand this, that when it's saying stuff like she's preparing for the people who are inexperienced to come, which are, I'm guessing they're going to be the ones that they're going to talk about later on as foolishness. Those are the inexperienced. So wisdom is almost celebrating, just like Jesus would, like the sinner, when they come and they actually try to get understanding and wisdom. So wisdom is celebrating, just like God would, that the inexperienced is coming. Okay, so that's me annotating it. Of course, I would be writing it down, but I'm going to do that after the camera, just because it takes a little bit longer. And I kind of wanted to show you how easy this is, and you want to annotate differently. You don't want to, I'm just going to show you like what I annotate, what I would write down. So I would just write down in some of the columns here the references between wisdom and God, the inexperienced being like the sinners, as it says, like to the one who lacks sense. So it's going to be like the one who sins, and everybody sins. She says, come eat my bread and drink the wine I have mixed. That's a reference to the Last Supper, I would say. So I would add that in there as well. Leave inexperience behind and you will live. Pursue the way of understanding. And the first 8 chapters before this in Proverbs, when it's saying stuff like leave an experience behind and you will live, it's saying like to live is to be outside of the sin that you're putting into stuff. So that's the way that I would do it. Actually, let me just check it's still recording. All right, perfect. It's still recording. I didn't want it to turn off. Yeah, so that's the 6 verses that I would go through. We've only got a little bit more, so let's do 7 to 12. The one who corrects a mocker will bring abuse on himself. The one who rebukes the wicked will get hurt. Don't rebuke a mocker or he will hate you. Rebuke the wise and he will love you. Instruct the wise and he will be wiser still. Teach the righteous and he will learn more. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. For by me your days will be many, and years will be added to your life. If you are wise for your own benefit. If you mock, you alone will bear the consequences. So let's talk 7 to 12, the verses of Proverbs 9. So we've got the one who corrects a mocker will bring abuse on himself. So the first thing that I thought of, because when you're annotating, you want to try and get a better understanding by relating, especially with the Bible, you want to get an understanding of all these different references to different points in the Bible. So that makes me think of the man with a speck of wood in his eye versus the man with a log in his eye, right? So I would probably write that there if I could. And then the one who rebukes the wicked will get hurt. Don't rebuke a mocker or he will hate you. Rebuke the wise and he will love you. So what I'm trying to think about there is that the people who are trying to gain understanding by reading the Bible, because as a Christian you want to be learning from the Bible and acting upon what the Bible is telling you. So it's saying here that if you rebuke the wicked, you will get hurt. Don't rebuke a mocker or he will hate you. Rebuke the wise and he will love you. So people who don't want to do better, who want to live in their sin, which is going to be the mocker here, they're going to continue to hate you, especially if you try and correct them. So I would write that down just on the side, just as you just really want to get a better understanding of it. So just little notes here and there, if that makes sense. And then rebuke the wise and he will love you. So that's the righteous. They know they want to get better. It's not necessarily rebuking, I would say in here. Like it does say rebuking, but the way that I would understand it is that you're kind of doing that righteous judgment, and you're just saying, if you're rebuking the wise, you're just saying like, hey man, that thing you did is wrong, and he will love you because you're correcting him, and he wants to get closer with God, or he or she, and so they want to learn more. They want to gain that wisdom, right? And that's what makes them wise. What do we got next? We got instruct the wise and he will be wiser still. And so yeah, they want to get better. So if you just like a friend sharpens a friend, iron sharpens iron, that's what I would add there just as a reference to help me understand it. If you're trying to be wiser and this other person's trying to be wiser, you can hold each other accountable according to the Bible, and you will both be wiser still. Teach the righteous and he will learn more. That's what it says here. And then it does a new paragraph. It says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. In the previous verses of Proverbs actually before Proverbs 9, it starts off most of the chapters by saying you need to fear me. It's talking about like fear the Lord. God references himself as a mother and a father, and saying that the teachings that I'm trying to teach you, it says pay attention, do not rebuke my word, listen to what I have to tell you. Like if we go to Proverbs 8, it says in verse 32 to 34, and now, sons, listen to me. Those who keep my ways are happy. Listen to instruction and be wise. Don't ignore it. Anyone who listens to me is happy, watching at my doors every day, waiting by the posts of my doorway. Yeah. And verse 36 of Proverbs 8 says, but the one who misses me harms himself. All who hate me love death. So it's saying, fear the Lord enough that you're going to respect what God is saying, so that you can actually pay attention to the lessons that you're trying to read. And that's why it's like a Bible study, because it's like you're studying all these lessons. Okay, so just a few things that I would write in there. I would just reference it that all the other Proverbs chapters are started off like that, just for my better understanding. And then next it says, "For by me your days will be many and years will be added to your life." So when it's saying by me, like it's saying by me because God is writing this. He is telling you this. By me, me is God. That's what it says, okay? So it's just, when you're annotating and understanding, you're just adding little notes here and there, just help you understand it and really just get it locked into your brain a little bit more. It's not just reading it, no annotating. It doesn't really stick in as much, so it's better to just annotate it. If you are wise for your own benefit. If you mock, you alone will bear the consequences. So I would relate that to in Proverbs 7, when it's saying stuff like, "Can a man embrace fire and his clothes not be burned?" Just like I said earlier. So if you mock, you alone will bear the consequences. It's not just mocking in general, but if you sin, it's your consequences. It is on you. You need to repent for it, right? So I would add that right in there when I'm annotating as well. Now let's do these last 5 verses, 13 to 18. "Folly is a rowdy woman. She is gullible and knows nothing. She sits by the doorway of her house on a seat at the highest point of the city, calling to those who pass by, who go straight ahead on their paths. Whoever is inexperienced, enter here. To the one who lacks sense, she says, stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten secretly is tasty. And he doesn't know that the departed spirits are there, that her guests are in the depths of Sheol." So Sheol is a reference to hell. Some translations are directly says it's hell, at least from what I've studied. Maybe I'm wrong in saying that. And I really don't know what folly means, so that's why if you have a computer with you, you would want to search up, what does folly mean? F-O-L-L-Y. I just don't know. But what I can get from these last 5 verses, this last paragraph of Proverbs 9, is that it's saying, it's kind of contrasting to how we started out Proverbs 9. It's saying that God God, being wisdom, is welcoming everybody in for the experience because God wants to teach you. Wisdom wants to teach you, right? But now it's saying folly. Folly is welcoming everybody in who's inexperienced because they don't know any better, and they're going to encourage them to stay in their own bad ways. That's why it says here, whoever is inexperienced, enter here. To the one who lacks sense, she says, stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten secretly is tasty. So it's like that temptation. You could even reference folly or is a rowdy woman to being the devil. And then when you say wisdom in the previous paragraph, you could say that that's God. So it's that makes more sense why it's called wisdom versus foolishness. I've never actually read Proverbs 9, so this is me just annotating it. And what I'm saying is, once again, just things that I would add on the side here to annotate it to better get my understanding. Because you want to, for your chapter, I normally just do like one chapter. I'll go between choosing what to read, which is what am I struggling with. So a few days ago I was struggling with laziness, so I would just go on the computer. What chapters are best to read about laziness in the Bible? It talked about, I think it was chapter 6, maybe, of Proverbs. Yeah, it's saying in verse 6 to 11, it's talking about the ant, and the ant just does what needs to be done and does not care about how it feels. That's the best way that I could summarize that first paragraph of Proverbs 7. And so you choose what you're going to read, and then in that chapter, you'll do about 5 to 10 verses at a time. After you've read it, you just annotate and understand it, and then you move on to the next 5 to 10 verses. You can do a full chapter. I would try and do one, like this one's not too bad. It was only 18 verses, and if I wasn't speaking out loud, I could get this done almost twice as fast. It's not like a race, but if I was just kind of short on time and I wanted to get something like that done, I definitely could. Okay, now that we've annotated and understood Proverbs 9, the way that I do my devotionals, this was taught to me by my girlfriend, is I have my all my prayers and sermons journal right here. I don't know if you can see, but I'll kind of bring it closer. Pretty proud of it. Let's get to here. I've already done one for today, so on the top, you would write Proverbs 9, and then you would just do Dear God. So it's almost like a letter. I'm just going to put this down, and then when you're praying on it, I like to write it down just so I can go back on it and be like, what did I actually learn from this? And writing it down just really locks it once again in your brain. It's like when you're doing a Bible study, act as if you were actually studying for school. Like you really want to understand and know what's going on, right? Like you want to ace that stuff. You want to get it locked in. You want to act upon the Bible, right? So that's the way I do it. I write it down. It's better to understand it that way. Let me just check if it's recording still. Oh yeah, perfect. So then I would just write down, Dear God, here's what I've been struggling with. Here's what Proverbs 9 has taught me. It's talked about wisdom versus foolishness, God versus the devil, how God welcomes in the inexperienced, how the devil also welcomes it in, but they have their differences, how the devil wants to treat everybody by not helping them, and God wants to treat everybody with love and helps them. So it just kind of, it's more of a contrast and comparison thing. It's saying, fear the Lord, for his way is right. So yeah, I would sometimes add just little verses that really stuck out to me, especially when I was annotating. I might just square them up or circle them up, and then be like, wow, this really stuck out to me. And then I'd thank God for all he's done for me. I would admit some of my failures in my life right now, thank God for my blessings in my life right now. I would ask, this is just like normal prayer, like it kind of depends on what you want to pray like, but I would also include things you're struggling with, the blessings, like being thankful. I would also include praying for other people in there. Like I have some people in my life right now that are going through some harder things, so I would just, I would just ask God to protect them, to help them realize the blessings that are in their life, and to bring them closer to God, and to also show me ways that I can also protect them, benefit them, help them out where I can. And then I ended off with just saying, thanks again, God, one more time. Once again, it's more in detail, and you writing it down will make it much more differently than I will. But, and then I ended off with like, it's almost like a love letter. It's like I'm expressing all my deepest emotions into God on this piece of paper. Nobody opens it except me, so I keep it pretty protected. And then I say, God, I love you so much. Thank you for everything. And then I sign my name. It's like a contract. It's like, okay, I've written this down. This is my words. This is my admitting to my faults. And that's how I would do it. Yeah, I mean, hope that helps. It's just, once again, it's a really easy to follow Bible study. However long this video took, once you get really into like the routine of doing stuff like this, you can knock out like little bits, maybe 5 to 15 minutes if you're really good at it. Once again, it's not a race, but it's just like little tasks that just keep you on check. It makes sure that you're constantly trying to plan according to God's plan, and just kind of humble yourself, recognize your faults. You're not perfect, you're never going to be perfect, and try to follow God as much as you can. Yeah, once again, let's just go over the steps. First of all, what to read. These are, what are you struggling with? What do you want to learn more about? It can also be, I'm going through Proverbs right now, so for me, obviously, it would be either what am I struggling about, or I would just do the next chapter of Proverbs if I'm not sure what I want to talk about or learn about. And then annotate and understand every 5 to 10 verses. Stop before you move on to the next set of verses. Annotate it all, understand it, move on to the next thing. It's almost like a reading comprehension test if you think about it that way. And then the third, pray on it. Make sure these are your words. Make sure that you are trying to get an understanding of everything. Make relations back to the text that you read. Tell God what you learned about it. Make sure you're actually being truthful in all of it. God's going to know what you're being truthful about. And it might be a little scary to write it on paper. If it's scary to write it on paper, you can just talk about it with God. Take some time, pray on it. To be honest, you don't even need to annotate your Bible, but at least read it, at least understand it, and pray on it. I hope that helped. Once again, the video is only longer because I'm talking about it and explaining my thought processes, but your processes are probably gonna be a lot more quicker than talking, a lot faster. And I would try and make it so like, this is like a good example page. Just have it like, oh wow, we're at a 20-minute mark. Have it just so like, you're really trying to understand everything. Like, I wouldn't say it like this. I would try and get a Bible where maybe you can do sticky notes if you're like fancier, but I didn't when I started this out. So, oh well. But yeah, you could just try and really understand what's going on, and act as if you're actually studying for something. Like, it should be important. It should be like, I'm not saying this in a mean way, like there should be a little bit of pressure to do better. At least that's why I'm doing it, is because I know I'm not the greatest. So yeah, do better. That's my plan. Bible, this is the Bible. If you guys don't know where to get one, there's honestly no excuses for this. Paper you can come by almost anywhere. Bibles, if you have a local Christian church somewhere, chances are they'll give you a Bible for free. So yeah, hopefully this helped, and keep up the Bible studies. See you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Also, look, I'm at the gym right now, so it's like, okay, it was a good arm workout, but end video. Thanks guys for watching.